Hi guys, my name is Barry and welcome back to the channel. I've not done a video for a good 2-3 weeks now. I've been on vacation. All the videos that you've seen over the past 2 weeks have been scheduled videos. So this is the first time I've got to do an actual video in over 2 weeks. And as I was away, I did see a lot of news of trailers that were coming out, horror movie news, etc. And I just couldn't report on them because I was away enjoying my time with my family. So I am back again. And I think the first thing I want to talk about is the new Blair Witch Project movies. Yes, movies, plural, that are coming out with Blumhouse and Universal Pictures. Sorry, not Universal. Blumhouse and Lionsgate. And the reason I want to talk about this is because I absolutely love the Blair Witch Project. I do monthly anniversary reviews, and the Blair Witch Project is coming up for its 25th anniversary. So look out for that when it comes. But I absolutely love the Blair Witch Project. And another movie series that I do really like is the Paranormal Activity series, and that was obviously through Blumhouse as well. So when Lionsgate announced that they were going to be teaming up with Blumhouse, I thought there's probably no better company to team up with than Blumhouse. To be honest, I know that Blumhouse bring out a lot of horror films. I know they've brought out quite a few bad ones as well, and they have to hold their hands up for that. But at the same time, they have brought out some really good and decent horror movies, especially in the subgenre of found footage. So if you're going to be trying to, if the makers of, or the owners of the Blair Witch Project want to release more Blair Witch Project movies, what company could they really go with that they could trust in making a semi-decent found footage movie? Yes, there are lower end companies that could maybe create a really good Blair Witch Project, like the people that brought out VHS and stuff like that, but they really want a big company to be able to do this. And I think Blumhouse could be the company to bring out another Blair Witch Project movie. Now, I do understand people's frustration when they say, we're not just going to be bringing out one movie, we're going to be bringing out 2 or 3, like they've done with the Exorcist trilogy, that probably won't see another Exorcist movie for some time. So I know they're jumping the gun saying that they're going to bring out multiple Blair Witch movies. I'm assuming when they say multiple, they're probably going to try and plan 3 movies. So they are jumping the gun, but they just want to tell you and us that they're confident in what they're doing with the project. I know it's similar to The Exorcist and they were confident in that, but when it comes to the Blair Witch Project, I think you can kind of relax a little bit more because you're not trying to outdo The Exorcist or trying to compete with The Exorcist. Now, for me, the Blair Witch Project is one of the greatest horror movies of all time, but it's not considered that by the general audience. So I think they can relax a little bit and say, do you know what, we're bringing out a movie that we're hopefully going to do justice for, but if we fail, then it might not be the end of the world. Now, what could they do with a Blair Witch Project movie? I think I've said it quite a few times on the channel that if we're going to do multiple Blair Witch Project movies, I think they should start from maybe the beginning with Elly Kedward back in the olden days. Maybe the second movie could be about Rustin Parr and the lead up to the college students disappearing in Blair Witch, and then do a sequel to the Blair Witch Project. I don't know if they want to do a sequel to Blair Witch from 2016 or set it in between those movies, because I feel like the 2016 Blair Witch Project or the Blair Witch is underrated. And I don't think they should ignore that and completely take it away from the timeline. I think they should keep that as part of the timeline. So if you want to ignore it, by all means, ignore it. But if you want to ignore it completely, I would maybe set this film or one of the films before the events of the 2016 movie and still keep it in line. So we've still got that tangent time of the Blair Witch Project timeline. Now, when you look at the Blair Witch Book of Shadows from 2000, it's slightly different because that's set out with that kind of world. So the 2016 movie didn't really mention that because it's set within a different world, but within the Blair Witch Project world, hard to explain. But you can still have all the Blair Witch Project movies in the same timeline and not disrupt anything. Out of all the ideas though, I think Rustin Parr for me is the best idea. You're probably thinking, well, what about Elly Kedward? She is the main idea for the Blair Witch. Yes, of course, but it's going to be hard to do that in a found footage style film. The Rustin Parr one, they probably can't do fully found footage either because that was set in the 50s, I think it was, or the late 40s, early 50s. So, but they still had cameras at the time that would just make it a little bit more old-fashioned. So when they do a Blair Witch Project reboot, I don't think that's all going to be found footage. I think they're going to have to come up with something else. I think, yes, of course, they're going to have to give us found footage, but at the same time, I think they're going to give us movies as well as found footage, maybe put them together so you've got found footage and an actual film. So I think if you're going to do a trilogy, my idea would be the first one being Elly Kedward, set at the beginning of the Blair Witch, then set it in the early 50s, I think it was, with Rustin Parr for part 2, or this version of the part 2, and then the last one, make it a sequel to the Blair Witch Project in 1999, although that movie was set in 1994, so you could make the sequel in 95, 96, or whatever you want to set it, but I don't think they should take away the events of 2016's Blair Witch, because it was a damn good film for me. I know that it's not perfect for some, but for me, I thought it was a great film. I thought it was highly underrated, so don't take that away. Keep it intact. I know they tried to do something similar with Halloween from 2018 when Blumhouse took the rights over for that. But in this one, because the timeline is sort of still intact, I don't think they should start breaking away from that. Halloween's different because it already moved away from the timeline multiple times. But with this one, they've got no excuse but to keep it intact. So Elly Kedward for part 1, Rustin Parr for part 2, and a sequel to the 1994 events of the 1999 movie, The Blair Witch Project. That would be the perfect sequel for me. But I know, which is the next part of this video, I know that a lot of people don't like reboots and remakes and requels, etc., etc. They make money at the end of the day, and I don't think companies are out listening to us. You know, companies will go, do you want to see a reboot of The Blair Witch Project? And you'll say, absolutely not. And they'll say, cool, but we're doing it anyway because it will make us money, and it's definitely going to make them money. I think they'll have the similar budgets to the Paranormal Activity franchise, maybe between 5 and 10 million before marketing. When you add on marketing, say 10 million for marketing as well, 20 million for that, you're looking at maybe a total of about $30 million per movie, which means they're probably going to have to make about $60 million for these Blair Witch Project movies. And I think it's a sure thing because they'll probably make well over $60 million if they market them right and they make them look good. So it's a sure thing. Try and not do what they've done with the Exorcist franchise. Do something similar to what they've done with Halloween, but give us something original as well. So I'm highly looking forward to this, guys. I know there's a lot of negativity behind it because people don't want remakes. They think they're going to ruin the original. Don't know how that's possible, but for me, it's a surefire thing. It will reintroduce the Blair Witch Project to newer audiences, the younger audiences, because we have to remember the original one's 25 years old. A lot has changed in 25 years within horror, within the subgenre of found footage, so they can start a clean slate and maybe reinvigorate the found footage genre again, because that's exactly what the Blair Witch Project done in 1999. It created this massive subgenre for a good 10, 15 years of found footage, some good, some bad, but I think the better found footage movies came from Blumhouse with Paranormal Activity, so I think it's in the right hands with Lionsgate and Blumhouse. But what do you think, guys? Do you think they should redo this, give us something else with the Blair Witch Project franchise, or do you think they're finished with it and you don't think Blumhouse should touch another franchise again? But leave your comments down below, let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you soon.
Meeting adjourned.
I'll be right back.
What are you waiting for, huh?
Coming to get you, Barbara.
Ever played Skin the Cat?
Someone's in the back!